Welcome to One Voice at a Time. It's election season 2017 in Londonderry, and we want you to know who your candidates are. So we're giving them an opportunity to come in and talk and tell you what's important to them, who they are, why you should vote for them, what their main interests are. So we have with us now Roger Fillio. Roger, very nice to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And please tell us about yourself. How long have you been here? What have you been doing since you got here?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have it all written down.
Oh, okay, just in case you didn't remember all of it, right? Okay, go ahead.
My name is Roger Fillio, and I'm running for Town Council. I've lived in Londonderry for more than 40 years. I lived in Salem, New Hampshire, 8 years prior to that. So just briefly, I'm a retired Sergeant First Class after 35 years. 10 full-time, 25 with the National Guard and the Army Reserve. I've served my county and community as a Justice of Peace for over 35 years. The last 3 or 4 years I've been helping as a senior helping seniors. Little information. I attended UMass Boston, where I learned that I was not a liberal arts student. So I went into I got a job, but I was very fortunate. I lived on Newberry Street in Boston, and then when I got the job, that's when I went to school, I moved up to Beacon Hill. And I spent 4 years working in a law firm there. But one of the things I've always learned by doing and actually working, and I was fortunate enough to have a variety of very interesting jobs. To name a few, I did 4 years as a law clerk, 11 years in retail sales, and store construction, where I needed to get some civil engineering classes.
Okay.
And then I did 10 years in auto service and management. I went to UMass Lowell, which was Lowell Tech at the time.
Okay, yeah.
I studied civil engineering, and which helped me in both my military career, because I was in field artillery, and in my civilian career as a construction supervisor. Experience, other than that, is I have owned and operated several small businesses, just to name a few. Direct sales, I owned a retail store, I had rental properties, and I did real estate sales.
Okay.
I currently serve on the Town Conservation Commission, the Heritage Committee, and I'm a member of the Londonderry Historical Society, which I am president of at this point. And I think I will bring a lot of knowledge, experience, and willingness to work to the Town Council.
Okay.
And
are there some particular issues that you think need to be addressed on the Town Council at this time?
yes, there are.
Okay. Nice bad on you. I'm sorry.
I can't.
No,
my
I think
fingers
that's
aren't
only
working.
one.
That's
Yeah,
one?
just one. You get
And-
nice heavy-duty paper here.
Oh, actually, that's right. I've already done that one.
Yeah. Okay.
And really, what are the problems that are facing the town? I mean, that's where we should start. What's important to
Okay,
people?
yeah.
And most important to people that I talk to in the town is facing the problem of growth.
Okay.
None of us moved here to live in a little cement block house, you know, which we're going to do when we go to Florida, but not here.
Oh, no, I'm not going there.
But we came for the ambience of Londonderry small town life.
Yeah.
But 40 years ago, when I bought here, I was told, don't come here if you think it's going to stay a small town.
Yes.
This was called the center of the Golden Triangle.
Yes.
And we only built up very slowly at first, but as we took on a little more, people realized the jewel we had.
Yeah. I've been here about as long as you have, and so I saw that. It starts slow and then just take off.
Yeah, it has. And that's part of the problem is we have two parts, and the first part is the growth. How do we manage that, you know? Quite frankly, I think they've done a reasonably good job We've got a manufacturing development towards the north, right where it should be. Who wants to live there with all them planes going off and on? So that's a good
Me.
place. Oh, well, I did notice
Whoops. Yeah,
as
no,
I get hard of
fine.
hearing, I'm not as bothered by them anymore.
Yeah, no, they're not that bad.
But how do you manage that? And there's a couple of different ways. One is to make sure the developers are complying with all of the aspects of the legal requirements.
Right.
The next part is...
And that would be like through the planning board and the ordinances that we have in place. And
That's right. And again, I'll give a lot of credit. I'm both the Conservation and the Heritage Committee. We don't have any power other than to recommend, but what we
Are
do...
you part of the review?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So every plan that comes through town goes in front of us. And what we look for is stuff that people don't even realize is wetland setbacks, you know, where the building's going to be built, what are they going to do with all the snow they store? Where's that going to drain off to, you know?
What's the building going to look like?
That's heritage more than
That's
anything.
heritage. Okay.
Yes.
I knew somebody looked at that. Okay.
But in general, they want structures to help keep our small town look, even though it's getting huge, and also to be reasonably aesthetic, you know, especially if it's a retail situation, they want them to look good. And how do you do that? You look at what it looks like and where the setting is,
Does it
and
fit?
does it fit, you know? When they did the new market basket up there, I thought that they did a pretty good job on the facades that they put on.
Yeah, yeah.
And now where they're building in that, right behind it, the name slips me, but you know.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Yeah. Woodmont.
Woodmont, there we go.
Okay.
They
The
have
comments,
presented,
yeah,
they have presented a couple of plans, and the one that they're starting out with now. And, you know, they took in under advisement everything we talked about and seemed to be complying with that. They made some big changes. And so I feel that we're doing a pretty good job there. It's going to be huge, and people are always going to say, it's terrible that it's so big, but it's
Yeah,
there.
You know, if they're complying with the law, what are you going to do?
That's right. And everybody has a right to sell their property, and the people who buy it have a right to use it as long as they're in compliance. So far, I
That's
believe...
very New Hampshire of you.
Well, that's why I moved from Massachusetts. But part of it is that, you know, everybody would have liked to have seen orchards maintained there, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just not going to happen, you know. So what do? We look at the plans. We on the committee that I'm on now, commission, we make recommendations and show where there are infractions,
Right.
and that's what we do. So that's one part of the process. The other process we should be doing, I think, is we have another development going in a place where it probably shouldn't go. Do I think it shouldn't go there? I don't live in that area. But on Stonehenge Road, I'm sure everybody knows what we're talking about.
The one that's going to be 50% workforce housing.
Supposedly, yes.
Okay.
No, I
you
think
didn't
it's
know
going
that
to
was
be more.
supposed.
I think that's going to be more than 50% work. But the problem is,
Are they not restricted to that once they've set that?
you know, they can build 100% over 55, but there is a time limit for that, which I didn't realize, and I'm not sure is 100% correct, but it looks to me that after a certain length of time, they run out of all of their requirements to provide that. Whether it's 20 years or 40, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But even if it isn't, if they build the structures that look and appeal, maybe by that time we might have a lot of young people looking for 1- and 2-bedroom homes. So I'm not opposed to development. In that particular case, people have been telling me, and I drove down there last night, the road is not substantial enough to handle all the extra traffic. And they're probably right. So do we do away with a building, or do we put in another road? I would suggest if the builder wanted to, he could probably kick in some money. I don't know that for now.
Is he doing anything to upgrade the road in any way?
Only in the small area that he's actually going to affect.
Okay.
But it just, even if that doesn't go in there, that road needs to be upgraded. I mean, that's so that's where we're getting the difference between.
Well, I know, I understand what you're saying. The population on that road, the residents are certainly concerned with traffic. But I had heard that we had studies that had been done that said that the road could handle that traffic.
I drive it once in a while.
Okay, yeah.
Studies be damned.
Okay.
It isn't so much that does it handle it on 100, say probably there, 1,000 cars a day.
Okay.
It's when there's 200 cars on it when you're on it that it's a problem.
Okay.
And again, I do not have any professional, but I want to say that like many people here in Londonderry, I feel I've been very successful in life. I have a successful family. My children are all doing well. I'm still in my own home, which I renovated recently and can afford to pay the payments. I have good health care and everything. And I know I don't look it, but I am almost 73.
Well, you are holding up really well.
Yes.
You are.
But so I'm saying the average family, the average person here knows how to make good decisions.
Okay.
And I think that's why we talk in front of the voters and listen to what they say. Obviously I feel that I've done well, but that doesn't mean I have the answer for everything. You got to listen to people. They all come up with a different point of view.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. And the other aspect of growth is we have an overall plan for the town.
Yes.
And, I've looked at it a few times and it is confusing to me. But I think that that's one of the avenues we need to do. We can grow, but maybe not all here, maybe not all on 102.
Are you referring to the master plan?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
And we need to bring that into play more often. Some people, again, have talked to me, well, I don't like the master plan, it has this, that, and the other thing. I'm not saying that I love this master, but I love the fact that we have one, and let's see how much we can change it. And of course, you can't be on every committee, but every committee reports to the town council.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I feel that you got to listen to people and do pretty much what the people.
And I kind of like the fact that even the people that don't agree with the master plan, they certainly did have several opportunities throughout that process to give their input.
Oh yeah.
Whether their input got in there or not is another situation, but they certainly.
This is what the beauty of being in a small town is. We still are a small town. And one comment I have to make is, when it comes to the deliberations prior to voting on stuff, we don't have a very big turnout.
Yeah.
If you remember in the old days,
I remember the old days.
when we used to have a town hall meeting that was at 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning, they'd say, okay, we can't get anywhere, we're going to start again tomorrow at 7. So if you've been there all day and you don't get there at 7, all the stuff that you probably were voting against is done by 7:15.
Well, yeah, I always told people if you're going to go from the beginning to the end, because you never know what's going to happen when you're not there.
That's right.
So,
but
you had your voice right there on the spot.
But what happens then is they bring up these issues again because it hasn't closed. It's open for them.
Oh, yeah, but now they do that whole same thing as they do at the deliberative session, and they bring up the vote for reconsideration.
Well, one of the problems is when I used to go to those all the time, before I got busy with a family and kids, there was hundreds of people there.
There were, yeah.
And I've only been to one, but it seems like the 60 or 70 people is all we see showing up.
Yeah.
and a deliberation. But
Yeah, I agree with you. When I was on the school board in the 80s, I remember one meeting where we had 1,800 people.
Yeah.
We had to set up several extra rooms within the high school so people could watch it on TV and get to a microphone to speak. I would love to have that problem again.
I did not go to the school board because, like everybody else, there's only so much I can actually get to. But they are almost twice as much as the budget for running the rest of the town. So,
Yep.
you know, but be that as it may, you have to put your efforts into areas that you think you can make a difference.
Right.
And I do think I can make a difference. The other problem we have is I'm walking because it's supposed to make me more healthy.
Yes.
What I'm doing now is I'm walking around, I'm looking at the ground, and my street's been there for 40 years. It has grass growing up in it.
Oh, my
Big
goodness.
cracks.
Really?
So I live on Hampshire Lane. Courier Drive is part of it, but Courier Drive only went to Hampshire Lane and then started at Hampshire Lane on the other side. So there's a
Okay.
big piece around now that I walk. And even that, my street was there when I got there, so it's more than 40 years old. The street I'm walking on, I'm thinking, is about 35. Thornton Road, which I go down to, is not only cracked and grass growing in places, there are places that are so broken up that this spring, when they heave up a little more, they're going to be gone. I mean, we're going to have patches. So I'm one of those people that likes all the old cliches, and one of them is stitch in time saves 9. I can see where they used to come along and fill in the cracks with tar. We need to do that because I believe we're a microcosm in my neighborhood, but I think the same things happen in all the neighborhoods around.
Not mine.
Oh, well,
I just have to say.
then, if that's the case.
I know that Janusz has a plan, and Janusz being the person who does the
Yeah.
road, plans the road work, for those who don't know. And I know he has a plan, and I know he tries to prioritize roads and according to how bad they are and when the last time was they were done. But are you going to find more money for him? Can you do that, you think?
Everything comes up to the council has an opportunity to vote yes or no on it, and I don't normally follow the pack. I can say that.
I don't know if you're aware, but Londonderry, I was told this when I first moved here, and that was before all of the other roads were constructed with new housing, that Londonderry had more miles of road in our town than any other town in New Hampshire.
It's probably correct.
We do have quite a bit of acreage for this town.
This is a big town.
Yeah.
Even it's not.
Size-wise.
It's like Florida.
Yeah.
It's very long and thin.
Yeah.
But be that as it may.
So anyway, you want to do roads. You wanna
I
take care of
think
roads.
there's a thing. Some roads need to be replaced. So if we spend all that time replacing them, maybe we should fix some of these minor problems that we can do without as much money and prevent the need for repairing and replacing that road in a
Okay.
major
Yeah,
construction.
you have to be careful saying repair and replace this year.
Okay.
That's okay. You're talking about roads.
Oh, please. I'm yes. So we're talking about the infrastructures, and that's what I'm talking about. Roads are only
Infrastructure's
one
important.
part of the infrastructure,
Yes.
but it's an important part to all of us because we all use the roads.
Right.
You know, and I often hear talk about redoing Mammoth Road and why can't we do this and why can't we do that. Mammoth Road is a state road.
Right, so we don't have to do that one. They have
And
to.
we can't get it bigger. And they're not going to allow
know.
any more. The reason
I
we
believe
don't,
they made it as big as they could the last time they went through, didn't they?
well, you can always make it bigger. It depends on how much you want to spend.
Well, right at the intersection where the light is, where they
Yeah.
put the light in, boy, we're like right up on people's lawns.
One of the problems of dealing with this, these are the hard questions, But I will end this portion of the conversation by saying
Yes.
that we can do anything we want with that road as long as we pay for it and continue to pay for it after we do it.
Even with the state road?
The state road will allow you to do that. State roads run right
I
through cities and everything.
Was not aware of that.
But they will not do anything for you. They're not going to refuse if you want to put a major bond up and rebuild all your road.
I was not aware of that. Okay.
They may not be as easy, but that's one of the things where you see where you've got some developments coming in that are using only one driveway because
Yeah.
you can't put any more driveways
Right.
on that.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
state thing because what
Yes.
happens if you put another driveway on? What is their recourse? Their recourse is that you take over the cost of repairing and maintaining the road.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the things. Now, somebody may come and tell me I have not a technical knowledge of that, and it's, and you just
Well,
talk
I'm
to
not a
them.
road expert, but you're telling me some things I wasn't aware of.
Well, that's why we don't have. I don't know
Okay.
the cause and effect, but I know that we can't have any more driveways going into here
Yeah.
because of that.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah,
state
this
road.
Limited, what do they call them? Cuts? Limited cuts onto a.
Do you remember
State road.
years ago when the guy on 102 built a house and he kept going through the chain link fence on 102?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was because he couldn't have an exit there. That was
Yeah, I
the
do.
whole-
I remember that whole thing. They just cut him right off. Yeah.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, that was wrong.
and, again, we came to Londonderry because, number one, is it a wonderful place to live? But I can be in Boston in an hour and a half. I can get to the seashore for an hour.
Oh, my God, I can get to Boston in 45 minutes.
Well,
One of
I
us is
drive the
driving
speed
too
limit. You go up skiing, you go to Keene area. I can get in there.
We are so central to everything. We can go to the beach, we can go to the city, we can, yeah, you're right, we're very central to everything.
So that's
we are very attractive.
Attractive to everybody, and they want their piece of cake, and
Yeah.
they want, I mean, it
So,
just,
so are there other infrastructure issues that you think we need to address?
that was
or
the
are
big
there
one
some
that
other-
came to the mind.
Okay,
There
or
is-
are there some other issues that you think the town needs to start looking at? We've talked about growth, we've talked about infrastructure, especially in regard
Well,
to roads.
As you know, I'm on the Conservation Commission, and I
right.
have to. There are questions arising now on to what we should buy, what we should give for easements, and everything.
As far as accumulating more
acreage,
not wetlands, more conservation land.
conservation.
Yeah.
I've been there about a year. I am more confused now than I was when I went there. I have.
We have some real experts on that committee.
Yes, but one of the things with committees, here again, that I find is a committee should have some balance to it.
Yes.
And I find that even in the paperwork to come on, to become a committee member on the conservation, it is all like-minded people.
Ah.
You
Oh, I
know.
see. Okay.
So,
Interesting.
and that's not, I haven't, I have some disagreements with them, which everybody that
So
watches.
it's not really so much are you interested in, it's are you interested in preservation?
Yes.
Okay.
And part of, I was very happy. The Conservation Commission was responsible for the town forest, which is actually the woodland next to the town common.
Right.
I may have his name wrong.
Kent Allen?
Kent Allen was in there, and he wanted to do some little stuff. And I thought, and I was for that. But the conservation are very purist in respect to, they don't want any electric or gasoline-powered engines, and they want to let everything die, and critters are important, and they are. I'm not saying it. But this is 11 acres that originally was given to the town to see if it would expand the cemetery. That was one of the reasons, not
Right,
all of the
okay.
reason. And you couldn't, because when you go down 2 feet, it's granite.
You can't get us through there, huh?
Nope. But one of the things, I said, well, I don't always give up.
Yeah.
We could do some nice mausoleums where people, that's a big thing today. because of the,
I'm sorry.
well,
Nope,
people put
that's
their,
fine. I hadn't even thought of that, though.
yeah, they have, what do you call it? You know, we have a lot of cremations,
Crematoriums, yep,
and people
Oh,
want
yeah,
a spot to
I'm
put.
familiar with the crematoriums out in California and how many mausoleums and everything they have.
Yeah.
And I think at least 50% of their people are on top of the ground
That's right.
versus in it, yeah.
So I'm not saying that my idea was perfect. I'm just saying I
It
was
was
able to,
different
a
than
little
what
bit
you were,
different.
yeah.
But now, Ken Smith, if you look at that place,
Kent Allen.
Kent Allen, I mean,
He's
confusing.
doing, yeah, he's doing an awesome job.
You can see right
He's
through on
working,
the
yeah.
bottom,
The-
and he hasn't
working
really
so-
done.
Working so hard up there.
Yeah, and you have to give credit to the town employees because they've been
And
taking us,
volunteers.
and they've been, yes.
Yeah, and other volunteers that have just stepped up to help him out with that, yeah.
Yeah. And he said to me, "Where were you? You said you were going to volunteer." I said,
Uh-oh.
"Hey, I helped get it through."
Is that how he gets his volunteers? He guilts people.
Yes, he does. But you know, again, I'm on a lot of little stuff, and
Yeah.
as a senior helping seniors, I worked with two fellows who had Alzheimer's. And when I went there, they said, you know, they never last more than 9 months. Both of my guys were 3.5 years and 2.5 years.
Well, you must be keeping him laughing because that's the best medicine.
Well, I don't know, but both of them now are in full-time care.
Yeah.
But there's still, you know, I think that made a difference. And that's what happens.
We only have a few more minutes, so I want to
Okay.
make sure that you get to whatever the points you have on here that you want
Actually,
make sure we cover.
then,
I don't want to cut you off. but
no.
I don't want you to miss out.
We need to prioritize our needs and wants. Some of the needs that people don't think about is to reduce density in specific areas. We have a lot of land here. If somebody's applying for, like on Stonehenge, for a place to put elderly housing,
Okay.
maybe instead of not putting it there because of whatever reason, there might be in South Londonderry a place that would be more suitable.
Okay.
We should have some way of conveying that to builders and everything. And
So sort of like through the master plan, that these
Yes.
are better areas to do those things?
yes,
Okay.
these are areas that not right now are not so very dense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't believe that you can stop people from coming here.
No, you can't.
We have two,
course
this
not.
is an ice cream shop
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everybody's
yeah,
hungry
yeah.
for ice cream.
Yeah.
I do
And we
believe
don't get to put up gates and
Yeah.
people come in.
the other thing that we need, I think, talking about the youth, young people, we have a lot of small businesses, but we don't have enough small businesses to give them all a job.
Oh, our kids,
Yeah.
okay.
It requires, you know, and I think that's one of, you know, we have good athletics, could have more, want to keep them busy and out of trouble.
I
Jobs
like
do that.
keeping kids busy and keeping them happy.
That's 100% correct. And so I'm a big proponent of anything that gives us jobs is good. I'd like to see, you know, I think Max has an ice cream place. I would like to see a
Yep,
coffee
the
shop
little-
somewhere there
Yeah,
in that area.
yeah.
I'd like to see a safe way to walk down Mammoth from the town common and the high school and everything to get to an area like Max.
Yeah.
Not touting Max. Max has been
No,
very
I know,
wonderful.
it's a good, yeah,
But it's a good area
Yeah.
there. Or
it's a good example.
somewhere else, you know, we need little places. Kids want to congregate, and if they're in a place like that, they're less liable to think of something crazy to do. And I guess, you know, that's pretty much everything I could.
Okay.
I'm sure there will be hundreds of things when I'm
That'll come
elected
up.
on the council that I'll get more insight
Yeah.
into. And somebody on the council
Well-
will probably tell me, you maybe shouldn't have said that.
You can
but-
say whatever you want. It's one voice at a time. You get to say whatever you want.
I
So
have to say
here
that-
you're safe.
Everybody I've ever talked to on the council has always had nothing but respect, or showed respect to me, and accepted whatever I said.
Good, that's
You know,
good,
and
yeah.
I think that people should know that, and
yeah.
I'm going to be one of
Yeah,
those people.
and more people should go and speak.
Yeah.
So is there like, just quickly, because we only got a couple seconds here, but is there a specific thing that you want people to know before we end our show here?
Yes, I'm the man for the job.
Okay. Roger Fillio, double L.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Roger, thank
It's
you
always
so
a
much
pleasure
for being
dealing.
with us. I appreciate it very much. And we will be wrapping this up now, and we'll be bringing another candidate on shortly.